Thank you. Today I'm going to be talking about what we're doing at the City of West Torrens. And City of West Torrens is a council in South Australia. So the title is Synergy and Integration, a Roadmap for Successful Information Management. And I'm going to be focusing on some of the work that we've done, and that's been through really close collaboration and work with all of the team within Information Services at City of West Torrens. Synergy, the magic that happens when two or more people come together and create something greater than they could have ever achieved on their own. Integration and information and records management refers to the cohesive synergy of diverse data sources, ensuring streamlined access, consistency and unified governance across systems. So I want to start and talk a little about City of West Torrens. We're located in Adelaide, South Australia, and we were established in 1836 with an amalgamation with the Thebarton Council. In 1997 we became the City of West Torrens. In 1999 we launched our first website. Our logo is between the city and the sea, and it works really well because we did receive that envelope at council posted with a payment for an expiation fine, so the logo works. City of West Torrens, as you can see, we have Adelaide and we have the sea, so we are smack bang in the middle. While some of the stats come up on the screen, some of the notable infrastructure within council, we have Adelaide Airport within our area. We have Thebarton Bioscience Precinct, we have Thebarton Theatre, which is due for an $8 million upgrade. We have a large athletic stadium, Kionga Golf Club, and we have 7 sporting facilities. The West Torrens Council has a staff of 260, and of those, 178 are administrative, and we have about 65 plus some contractors at the depot. Just going to beef it up a little bit here, just to mix it up a little bit, and this is Molly, and we have Morris.
Our council is dedicated to enriching community life. From libraries to youth programs, active ageing initiatives to arts. We ensure everyone remains connected and inspired. Infrastructure is our foundation. We maintain roads, footpaths, playgrounds, and preserve our treasured heritage properties, crafting spaces that blend beauty with functionality.
We are forward-thinking, implementing key drainage and infrastructure projects to keep our community resilient. Safety and quality are priorities. We oversee everything from food outlets to beauty salons, ensuring standards are met. Keeping streets safe and managing traffic, we address concerns from animal complaints to parking issues. We champion sustainability through efficient waste collection, recycling, and green waste programs. Guided by responsibility, we oversee building developments, ensuring they align with our community's vision.
At our council meetings, decisions are made, voices heard, and futures shaped. In all these roles, our council's commitment to the community shines through.
Just to give you a bit of a background on some of the applications that we have in the City of West Torrens, our core EDRMS is Objective ECM. We have a property and rating system, which is Infor Pathway, which manages all of our rating, financial, all of our food business notifications, so all of our legislative requirements there, including parking expiations, etc. We have a whole range of other applications. We have approximately 40% of our applications are on-prem and the rest are in the cloud, and we're gradually moving over and a lot of them are in the cloud. We have found in the last few years a real influx in smaller cloud-based systems where a lot of departments suddenly find a great little application they can get really cheap, and via the cloud they just have to pay an annual maintenance, and we've tried to get on top of that because we find that a bit of a risk for our data. So my role in information management as the team leader, I'm responsible for all of the data across council. We need to ensure that we capture our records and that they are able to be accessed and maintained for the duration of their life cycle. I have a strong focus on business analysis, business improvement, and really getting the best out of the current applications that we have. So we're often asked, oh, we want to get an application to do this. We really go and have a look at what we've got in our suite and then see if we can't handle that through our applications. Responsible for the day-to-day management of Objective ECM, we have Connect, DocuSign, MS Teams, Gov365, EasyScan and Redact. I'm the coordinator of the Objective ECM User Forum for local councils across Australia. I'm a RIMPA ambassador and also a mentor. I'm an active member of the local government ITSA group, and I've been involved in a number of state records SA working groups. One of them recently was to revamp our general disposal schedule, which we did, and that was a really good success. So a bit of a timeline here. City of West Torrens introduced Tech One, well at the time it was DataWorks EDRMS back in 2002. In 2004 they ceased creating hard copy files apart from DAs, and at that time everything was digitised, including development applications. I came on board in 2006, so I was fortunate that they were already in a digital environment. In 2010 I implemented a lot of workflows in DataWorks. 2012 I did some stats and found that at that time about 80% of our incoming correspondence was hard copy, 10% emails and 10% fax. In 2014 we achieved GDS 21 accreditation, which was really big for us because it meant that we were able to destroy source records or temporary source records once they were digitised, and that was a real game changer for us because the majority of the incoming correspondence was temporary records. In 2015 we saw the need to convert a lot of the TIFF files that we had in the system, because at that time we were scanning as TIFF rather than PDF. So we undertook a project to backscan all of those TIFF files into searchable PDFs, because we knew that when we came to having a system that had content searching, we would need that ability. So that was a really good solution. We used an external provider, Redmond Solutions, and that was really good. In 2016, we went out to look for another EDRMS. And through extensive negotiation and tender process, we implemented Objective ECM. At that time, we migrated 4 million records from Tech One ECM into Objective. And from when we switched off DataWorks on the Friday night, or Tech One ECM, we went live Monday morning, those records were there and available. So that was a good achievement there, and we didn't have to go back at all to our old repository. 2017 I implemented about 150 workflows, and we also received GDS 21 accreditation, which meant that all source records, including permanent, could be destroyed following digitisation. So again, another game changer. 2020 I worked on the State Records Working Group, and we moved from GDS 20 to GDS 40. So that was really good. 2021 we implemented a lot of online forms, which has really been a good game changer across council. And a snapshot, 2023 our incoming correspondence, hard copies about 11%, which is really petering out. And with the Australia Post increase again next year to $1.50 a letter, it's going to even decrease more. 42% emails and about 47% online forms. So, a little bit about what we've been doing. In 2016 we looked at replacing it. I'll actually just mention that, so I'm going to flick through that I think. We are about to upgrade Objective to 11.6, which we're really looking forward to, and we'll be implementing the IQ interface out to all of our staff. We currently have 2 interfaces with Objective, but they'll just be using one as of early next year. Okay. So we have a fairly large mobile workforce. All the guys in the depot are used to using iPads, and we have a lot of online forms that they're using. They're filling it out for daily inspections, for contractor training, which is great. They get a contractor on board, they can go through all of their training, signed off. Those forms end up directly into Objective, into the files that they need to go into with no intervention from us, particularly workplace inspections. We also, the environmental health team are using online forms for food businesses. They'll go out to different health premises and do their inspections, all done online, and at the end of that it's sent off to SA Health, but a copy's also put into Objective as well, so that's really good as well. That's saved a heap of time and it's really streamlined. We also have a lot of contractors at council, so all the inductions are done online, and the risk assessments, workplace inspections and things like that we're also doing through online forms on iPads and other devices, etc. And again, they come back majority into Objective, but some do end up in Pathway or our asset system as well. So COVID was a bit of a game changer for council. Luckily we had a great infrastructure in place, so we were able to send staff home and provided some equipment to quite a lot of the staff. Teams was already in place and we implemented Gov 365, which gave us integration with Objective. And we took an opportunity there, and we moved those that were quite reluctant to work in an electronic environment. We moved them across into electronic, which was really good. And during that time, we implemented DocuSign. So from that point on, a couple of the GMs refused to sign anything unless they received it via DocuSign. So that was actually a good move forward as well. One of the things we realised a couple of years ago was that our new employees had a really very unimpressive introduction to City of West Torrens when they received the information that we needed them to sign and fill in and read, etc. They received what was called an employment pack, which was about that thick, and it took anywhere between 10 and 21 days for them to receive it, fill it all in, read it all, etc., and then get it back to council. Needless to say, it wasn't a really good experience for our staff, for those new employees. We looked at that and thought, right, we've got to do something about it, so we formed a working group with Human Resources and my team, Information Management, and within our department, Digital Services. And we came up with an new employee module. At that time, we already had a module in place called the Employee Hub, where we pointed new staff to, or any staff to, the hub, which has training, WHS training, it has access to all of the policies, etc. around council, and it's really a point of reference for new staff. And as you're working through, as things change, you can refer to the Employee Hub and get that information. So for instance, we have an information management induction on that Employee Hub. So we created a new module called the New Employee. So this is just a snapshot of the welcome pack. And again, our digital services team worked really hard to make this look nice. We included a video. We have got links in there. So the new employee receives an email at their personal email address and they log in, and this is what they see. Gives them a bit of an overview of our council. And when they access that, you'll see that as they scroll down, they get an overview of this process. There's a lot of documents that they need to read, so they're required to read them, so they're policies, and all of those policies are being pulled from Objective. Means that any time they're updated, whoever's reading this is getting the latest version. There are some other policies that aren't mandatory and just general information that we make available as well. And we have some online forms. So we've gone from about 16 forms they had to fill in to 2 plus a parking permit application. So we're pretty pleased with that. And one sort of payroll related and the other's HR related. We also found that there was a hard copy tax office form, the ATO form that they had to fill in, but after some investigation I was determined to find an electronic version. And in fact, if you go to the ATO website, you log into your MyGov account, etc., you can find a new employment form, which you just fill in all the information and you can satisfy the requirement that way, so that was good. They then have a final step where they're just acknowledging that they've completed the online forms, etc. This has been a game changer, and the feedback we've got is really going from this to this. And typically the turnaround time from when we initially send the new employee their contract and position description to sign by DocuSign, and within that, in the email is a link to the module, but it's anywhere between 2 and 24 hours that we get that information back, which is fantastic. And the feedback's been really good with that. And that really is looking at I guess, working with a team of people, and what I wanted to do was just get away from that paper process completely. Keeping in mind, we do still have, sometimes we do offer the hard copy option to people, or one of the HR staff will come in and sit down with a new employee who's not familiar with the PC and actually go through it with them. So we do have scenarios for that. Within ECM, we have an objective, we have a lot of workflows, and these are really simple to set up, which has been great. They're called case types, and it's based around two elements. You have a role, so that's an action officer. So with an objective, we have a role for anyone that's responsible for incoming correspondence, and a user's added to that role. And then in this instance, for these case type workflows, you have the parent file. So when a document's put into the system, the case type's assigned. In this instance, it's a food business notification. And when that's finalised, it's going to be sent off and tasked to the team leader of environmental health, and that's done via an email. And it's going to be added to the food business notification form's parent file. So very easy. The team leader then can access that from the email, or they can go into Objective and access it from their task list. And that's all we need to do. If the team leader goes on leave, via the higher duties notifications, we put someone else in that role. So they receive those tasks while he's on leave, and that makes it really easy to manage. We also have implemented catalogues in Objective. We find that quite often people want to record information about records, and they might try and do it via a spreadsheet. An example is bank guarantees and contracts. So rather than maintain a spreadsheet, we create catalogues, which is really just a collection of fields. And we can apply multiple catalogues to a document. There's some examples here that we use. Freedom of information applications is one, it's quite a long one, but it basically looks at the date that the FOI was received, when the determination is due, all the details about the applicant, and we can then do a search and get all that information and send it off to state records at the end of the financial year. We use the catalogue here for incoming correspondence to identify that the source record has been placed in our daily records box, and then in a couple of months we destroy that box of records and we update that field to say that it's been destroyed and when it was destroyed. The other one we've introduced recently was evidence details. Instead of capturing driver's licence and those other sorts of information, we just simply record that we've cited it. So my team will say it was a driver's licence, this was the name, this was the address on it, and depending upon why they needed that evidence, it might be just because the person wanted a waste voucher and had to prove that it was their property, we then put other information as well. But that's been good too, because we're not capturing any of those personal information. The bank guarantees we introduced because nobody knew how many bank guarantees we had in council. We suddenly found that we had about half a dozen that should have been returned to the contractor. So they're typically held for 12 months during the life cycle of a project, and usually a large infrastructure project such as road reconstruction. We looked at different ways to maintain it, and with the catalogue, we're simply collecting information that's contained on that bank guarantee. So that'll be the organisation, the contract that it relates to, the value of that bank guarantee, the bank, etc., etc. It has been quite handy if we did in one instance have one company who changed ownership, so we were able to easily find those bank guarantees that related to that company. Because all of these fields that are on that catalogue are searchable, we can then easily get reports out. So at any given point, we can provide the auditors, for instance, with a list of all the bank guarantees that we currently have in our strong room, or ones that are due to be returned, etc. And again, just via a search, we can easily get a list of those bank guarantees. When it is returned to the company, we then just update the location to say that it's been returned to that company. We still have that digital copy of it, but we know that the source record's been returned. One of the catalogues that our digital services team have created, or rather we've created the catalogue but they've done all that fancy stuff behind it, we publish a lot of documents on our website. They've set up some great coding in the background that's linked to the catalogues in Objective. So if there's a document that needs to be published on a web page, the person responsible for that web page can put the document in Objective and add the seamless catalogue. Now, the seamless catalogue needs the name of the web page, so in this instance it is the recycling page, and the text that this document relates to on that page. And once the document's finalised in Objective, it automatically finds that text on the website and creates a URL which is linked to that document. And that might be 4 or 5 places on that page. And so we need no intervention by our IT team to do this. Any of the users that are maintaining web pages can do it. They just apply this catalogue, put in that text, and that means, of course, when someone's going to our website, they're accessing the document, they're getting the latest version. So in this instance, it's version 6. And that document can be edited, etc., at any time, and because of that linking, it's automatically available. So that's been a real game changer for us. And again, that's been working really closely with the guys in digital services. They use, just for some people who want to know, they use Open Cities, which was previously known as Seamless, to do this functionality. And a lot of our online forms, we use Jot Forms. One of the other ones which is really great is, of course, as a council, we have to make agendas and minutes available on our website, and these need to go up at a certain time. We've got regulatory requirements that we need to meet, regulations, and the staff that are producing the agendas and minutes, the minute they've created that PDF, they drop it in Objective, they add the catalogue, they assign the council meeting that it is, so what meeting name it is, the meeting date and time, the type, so whether it's agendas or minutes, and the location. And that automatically publishes it on the website. And again, that can happen within a minute of that document being added to Objective. So again, that saves so much time to what we used to have to do before. We'd have to zip off to IT and get them to make it available for us, etc. So that's been really good as well. Another product that we use a lot, and again, this is looking into integration, is Objective Connect. For those that don't know about Objective Connect, it's basically a secure means of sharing documents with other people and other organisations. Connect creates a secure area in the cloud, and we have integration with Objective, which makes it really seamless for us. When you're accessing Connect, you can do that via any device, so your mobile, your iPad, etc., and you're able then to upload and download documents depending upon what privileges that you've been given. Some of the examples that we use Connect for: with our elected members, all of the information we share with our elected members is done via Connect. So we have 8 wards, and each ward has its own Connect folder, and we drop documents in as needed. And so the elected members responsible for that ward are always up to date with what might be happening. And that might be road closures or street maintenance work being done, or media alerts and things like that. So we drop documents into those folders and they're immediately available. We also use it for procurement panels. We use it for courts if we have to make documents available to courts, lawyers, auditors, etc. It's great because you can put large volumes of documents in there and they can then download them quite easily. We use it for freedom of information applicants, particularly those cases where you've got repeat serial FOI applicants, and you can make those 2,000 documents available to them and they can download each one individually if they want to. We use Connect within information management with Grace Records Management, and this was implemented a while ago. Grace digitised development files, so our planners request development files, and they log on to the Grace portal, put in the development number, and they then request to have that, I'll go back. They request to have the file digitised. Come on up. There we go. So at this point, when they check it out in the cart, they ask for it to be digitised. Grace go off and digitise the file, and then they upload it back to Connect. Now, the nice thing there is that that's then immediately available in Objective for my team to then move to the parent file and then flick a reference to the planner that's requested it. And sometimes there's only about 2-3 hours that it takes them to digitise that file, depending on how big it is. And in Objective, that's how we see it. We know it's a Connect document because of the little green symbol, and we can just move it out. Okay. The creation of a Connect folder in Objective is just like creating another file, but it's a workspace file. I'll just quickly zip through these scenarios here. We create the folder, we then have the functionality to create a collaboration workspace. That goes out into the cloud, duplicates that file in the cloud. We then alias documents into it. We can then invite participants. So in this instance, we're inviting a particular person, John Jones. We're saying that he can upload documents. And once we click that send invitation, he gets an email on his iPhone or wherever to say, okay, you're invited to this workspace. He logs in, creates a free Connect account, which is a one-off. Then he accepts the invitation. He can then upload documents at any time, and that can be from anywhere on his mobile device, and they're immediately available in Objective. And we use that for a lot of our contractors that are doing large projects where they're uploading invoices, documents, files, etc. And we, of course, have those documents immediately in Objective, already in the system, and all of the notifications are done via email, so we have fantastic auditing available on that as well, so it's really good. Okay, I need to wrap up now. Sorry, I've gone over time. 3 minutes, okay. Well, I'll just finish up with the challenges I think that we have. Record capture, preventing the use of network drives, OneDrive, Outlook mailboxes, managing digital assets, knowing where that information is, ensuring data is accessible, record retention, changing the attitude of let's just keep it forever, disk space is cheap, high cost of digitising historical records, and the lack of a digital repository in SA. So I'm going to flick through this really quickly. This is the Information Services team, and again, it's a collaborative affair. We work really closely together and achieve an awful lot with the applications that we have. And finally, in the way Mosaic is pieced together for a stunning visual, Synergy brings our unique strengths together for exceptional results. Thank you.